Hello students, this is Nirmalendu Nirmal. We are going to continue the same chapter force, and this is the fifth part of that chapter. Today we are going to start the session with the topic friction. So in the previous session also we have talked little bit about the friction, that what is friction and how does it work and what is the direction of the friction, etc. So here again we will talk about this in the detail. So let us now study in detail about the force of friction that exists between two different objects. A ball rolling on the ground slows down and then eventually comes to rest after some time. In the last session also, in the previous session also, when we talked about the friction, then we have learned that whenever anything like a ball, if rolls on the ground, moves on the ground, then what happens, that gradually it slows down and finally it comes to the rest, it stops. Okay, so how does it happen? Okay, this is because while it is moving it experiences a force that is in the opposite direction. Okay, direction opposite to its motion. Whenever any ball moves, then it experiences a force. A force acts just against the motion of the object. Suppose the ball is moving in this direction, then the force that acts, okay, in the opposite direction of the motion, and because of that uh, gradually the ball comes to the rest because of this opposite force. Okay, the force which acts in the opposite direction of the motion of the object, that is ball, and this opposing force is called the friction. And this opposing force which opposes the motion, okay, which opposes the motion, that force is known as friction. And hence friction is the force that opposes or resists. Resist means oppose only, to stop, to prevent, okay, the relative motion. What is this? Let me read again. That hence friction is the force that opposes or resists the relative motion between two bodies or surfaces in contact with each other. When this force opposes or this force acts when the two objects are in the contact, when the two objects are in the physically, okay, in the physical contact, then this force takes place at that what, in the physical contact area. So here actually when the ball rolls on the ground, then ball is in the contact with the ground. Okay, and because of this here the frictional force occurs. Okay, so whenever two objects will be in the contact physically, then their frictional force will work. Friction always acts in the direction opposite to the direction of the motion, that we have learned. So if we move a table towards north, suppose that this is the table, and if we move the table towards north, then the force will act towards south in the opposite direction of the motion. Okay, then the force of friction will act on the table towards south in the opposite. Similarly, when a bucket of water kept on the floor is moved left, then frictional force will act between the floor and the bucket towards right. Okay, if we move anything left, then frictional force will act towards right in the opposite direction of the motion. Now friction is caused due to irregularities on the surfaces. What is irregularities? Means which is not completely flat or smooth. Suppose that any surface is there in which many grooves are there, up and downs are there. It means the surface has irregularities. It is not regular. Regular means completely flat. Okay, so friction is caused due to the irregularities, up and downs on the surfaces of the object which are in the contact. Okay, if we carefully observe the surfaces of objects, the magnifying lens, with the help of the magnifying lens, then we see that there are tiny hills and grooves, like this, tiny hills and grooves, very small. Okay, so it can be seen with the help of the magnifying lens, and these are too small. When any two surfaces comes in the contact with each other, then these hills and grooves interlocks. What happens then? These hills and grooves interlock. Suppose that anything is rolling on this, then what happens? Then they are get interlocked. Their surfaces gets interlocked, and because of that, here the force acts and it slows down the motion. Okay, slows down the speed of the object. So what happens here, that when any two surfaces come in the contact with each other, these heels and grooves interlocks with one another and thus opposes motion. To be able to move any of these surfaces, we have to apply a force to overcome. We'll have to apply the force to overcome the interlocking. Okay, when the applied force is sufficient, the interlocking breaks. Okay, interlocking breaks and the object begins to move. Suppose that anything is stuck, okay, in the got interlocked in the what heels and grooves, then we'll have to apply the force on this, and force should be what sufficient, then only it will move again, otherwise it will not move. So force should be sufficient to come, okay, to overcome the interlocking and to move the object. So here one important thing is there, that besides solids, liquid and gases, besides solids and liquids and gases also exert friction on the object moving through them, which is known as fluid friction or drag. So don't think that this force what exists in the case of the solids only. No, this is wrong. This takes place, or this occurs, or this exists when above fluids or gases also comes in the contact. Okay, and there this frictional force is known as the fluid friction. What? Fluid friction or drag. Fluid friction or drag. You can check that whenever you will just roll any ball on the surface of the water, it will go move a little bit, it will cover a distance and again it will stop. So also obviously any force acts in the opposite direction of the ball, that's why it stops. So here what happens, that in the liquid also means here the ball and the liquid, okay, are they are in the contact, and here also the frictional force what works here, acts, frictional force acts, and because of that frictional force the ball stops. Okay, the motion means the motion is opposed by the frictional force, and this frictional force, okay, which is of the liquids and gases, are known as the fluid friction or drag. I hope that you understood. Now let's continue. Now we'll talk about some properties of the friction. Properties of friction. So friction has the properties also and some demerits also that we'll talk about later. Now friction has following properties. Friction always opposes relative motion. Hence, it slows down and ultimately stops a moving a body. Already we have learned friction produces heat. Because of the friction, heat is produced. This is why when we rub our hand together and touch our cheeks with them, we feel warm. In the winter season, you must have done, okay, that we rub the hand, we rub the palm, and we just touch the cheeks with the hand. Then we feel the warm. Why? Because when we rub the hand, then frictional force. Because of the frictional force, the heat is produced. Okay, and because of that heat, we feel warm. Okay, so frictional force produces heat. Friction produces heat. Even the tires of moving vehicles and the moving parts of the machine become hot due to the friction. So because of the friction, everything gets heated. Okay, everything gets heated. Even the machinery parts, the tires, everything. Friction causes wear and tear of the surfaces in the contact, and because of the friction only, the objects tear which are in the contact. Okay, and because of the friction they got torn. Now it results in wearing out of the sole, and because of the friction only, the sole get worn out. Okay, here you can see, because of the friction this happens to the sole of the shoes and slippers, etc. So wearing, it results in the wearing out of the sole of the shoes and tires of moving vehicles also. Also the parts of a machine wear out. Machinery parts also wear out because of the friction, and because of that only the machinery parts have to replace. Okay, have to be replaced after some time. So factors affecting frictions. Which factors affect frictions? Now we'll talk about them. Friction depends on the following factors: nature of the surface in the contact, which surfaces are in the contact. Friction depends upon them also. Okay, nature of the surfaces. As discussed before, friction arises due to the irregularities on the surfaces of the object. Okay, friction arises due to the irregularities on the surfaces of the object. The more are the irregularities, greater will be the friction. Okay, as much the irregularities are there, that much frictional force will be there. Lesser the irregularities, lesser the friction. Okay, so it is directly proportional. Higher the, okay, more the irregularities, greater the frictional force, and less the irregularities means smoothness are more. It means smoothness is more, it means smaller the friction, lesser the friction. Here, since a smooth surface has lesser irregularities as compared to the rough surface, so friction is less for the smooth surface and more for rough surface. Okay, because rough surface has more irregularities and a smooth surface has less irregularities. Now weight of the body. A body kept, okay, this is the factor of which affects the friction. We are talking about the factors. We are talking about the factors which affect friction. Okay, and first was their nature of the surfaces in contact. Now second factor which affect the friction is weight of the body. Weight of the body also affects the friction. How? Let's see. A body kept on the ground experiences the normal force. Whenever anything is kept on the ground, then it experiences normal force? No. It exerts the normal force on the surface on which it is kept. Okay, it is kept, and it is because of the weight of the object. This normal force is because of the weight of the object. So what happens that a body kept on the ground experiences the normal force exerted by the ground, which is equal to the weight of the body. So if the body is heavier, then the normal force exerted on it will be more. So whenever heavier means object is heavier, that much what will be the normal force applied on that will be higher. So normal force depends upon the weight of the object. Greater the normal force experienced by the body, greater is the frictional force. It means heavier the body, greater the frictional force. Means if anything is what lighter, that will have the means that will experience the less friction. If anything is heavier, that will experience the more friction. So greater the normal force experienced by the body, greater the frictional force. It means in other words we can say more force will be required to move a heavier body than a lighter one. Okay, now the next one is there. Yeah, next factor which affects the friction is area of the surfaces in the contact. Okay, the surface area which is in the contact, that is also a factor which affect the friction. For any two given surfaces, friction is independent of the shape or area of the surfaces in the contact. Let's understand this with the help of activity. So for this you will read the activity and you will try to do. You will understand what happened, that for any two given surfaces, friction is independent of the shape or area of the object. It means area does not affect, means whatever the surface area will be which will be in the contact, that will not affect the frictional force. Suppose that anything is of 40 kg, okay, like this or like this, and both are of 40 kg. What? 40 kg and 40 kg. Then here the surface area which are in the contact is this much only, and this is bigger one. So if you think that no, it will experience, this object will experience the greater friction, no. The frictional force, okay, friction is independent of the shape or the contact area, contact surface area. It does not depend upon the contact surface area. So both will experience the same frictional force because both have the same weight. So it depends upon the weight. Okay, it is independent of the shape or area of the surface in the which is in the contact. I hope that you understood, and you will try to do the activity. all the activities you should do, whatever are given in the book. Now we'll talk about the friction. Okay, types of friction. What types of friction? And first one is there static friction. First type is the many types are there like static friction, kinetic friction, and under kinetic friction sliding friction is there, rolling friction is there. Both are sliding friction and rolling friction are the types of kinetic friction. Okay, so we'll talk about these types one by one. So at first we'll talk about the static friction. The word static means stationary. Stationary means if anything is at rest, then we say that it is in the stationary state, which is not moving. Okay, now the friction that exerts when the bodies in the contact are at rest with respect to each other is called the static friction. Means that type of frictional force which is applied when the body is at rest. Suppose that anything is there, any heavier box is there, and you will try to push that box, but it will not move. It means what? Why does it not move? Because the frictional force works or acts in the opposite direction. Okay, and this frictional force is acting when the body is at rest, when the body object is stationary. It means this frictional force, okay, then the frictional force which is exerted by the object, okay, which is working between the what contact area here when the body is at rest, then that frictional force is known as the static friction. Okay, static friction. Let me repeat that when the object, any object is at rest, and that time it it explains the frictional force, then that frictional force is known as the, what static friction. Let's understand this with the help of example. Suppose we want to move a heavy object placed on the table. To do so, we start pushing the object with a small force. Then what happens that it responds to the applied force. The force of the friction opposes the motion of the object and it remains at same at the rest. If we apply the small force, then what happens that frictional force opposes, obviously if frictional force oppose in the opposite direction of the motion, and because of the very less force, a small force, the heavier object remains at the rest. Why? Because frictional force has stopped it. Okay, the quantity of the frictional force is greater than the force which we applied. So that time whatever frictional force acted, no, that is known as the static friction, because it is because of the rest, when the body was at rest. So as we gradually increase the applied force, the force of friction keeps on increasing, and therefore due to static friction the force applied is balanced. Okay, gradually we will increase the force which we applied, but it will not move what up to a certain period, because it balances. Okay, it is balanced by the frictional force, and object remains stationary. On further increasing the force, the object begins to move. Okay, begins to move. When the force applied is greater than the frictional force, then the object start moving. Understood? So object begins to move on the table. This maximum force of opposition that acts between an object and the surface in the context, so that the object remains at rest even with an external force acting, is known as the static force. That the maximum quantity, maximum force of opposition that acts between the object and surface area which are in the contact, that maximum force of opposition is known as the static friction. Static friction is also known as limiting friction. So therefore, if the applied force is less than the equal to the static friction force, the body doesn't move. If the force is applied less than the static friction, then the object doesn't move. Now second type is there, that kinetic friction. What is kinetic friction? The word kinetic means moving. Okay, word kinetic means moving. So obviously by the word only it is clear that kinetic means moving, and friction, so the friction which is because of the movement, that is known as the kinetic friction. So kinetic friction is the friction that exists between two bodies when the applied force overcomes static friction. When the applied force, okay, applied force overcomes the static friction, okay, it starts moving, then what happens, then that time the force, whatever force exists between the what object and the surface, okay, that frictional force is known as the kinetic friction. When it it moves. Okay, when the object is moving. Now, sliding and rolling frictions are the types of kinetic frictions. There are two types of kinetic frictions: sliding and rolling frictions. First is sliding friction, the friction that exists between a body and the surface when the body slides over. Okay, suppose that this is the table, on that any object is kept and it will be slide. Okay, it will slide on that, then whatever the frictional force will be there, that will be called sliding friction because of the sliding of the object. And second one is the rolling, when any object will roll. Okay, so cylindrical object can roll on anything. So when an object rolls over the surface, the friction exists between them is called the rolling friction. Very simple it is. Now, sliding friction is more than the rolling friction. Sliding friction is more than the rolling friction. Why this happens? Okay, we'll learn this. So sliding friction is more than the rolling friction, that is, it needs more force to slide. It needs more force to slide an object on the surface than to roll it. To roll any object, it requires very less force, but to slide any object, it requires more force. That is why heavy objects are moved using rollers. That's why, because of this only, heavy objects are moved with the rollers, using rollers, because rollers, okay, requires very less force, okay, which makes the movement easier. Using roller, it means to move the heavier object, rollers are used. Why? Because it makes the movement easier. Also, vehicles like bicycles, cars, trucks have the wheels to make them move easily because the wheels roll on the surface. The force required to start a motion is maximum. Force required to start a motion is maximum as compared to the force required to keep a body in motion. Therefore, static friction is more than the kinetic friction. Static friction is more than the kinetic friction. Once again, you read that the force required to start motion is maximum as compared to force required to keep a body in motion. Suppose that anything is rest, and if we have to start to move this object, so whatever the maximum force is there which will make it moving, okay, because of that force, maximum force, it will start moving. That is more than what, to keep on moving any object. Suppose that any object is already moving and we have to keep on we have to make this object moving, then whatever force we'll have to apply on this, that will be lesser than the force which is used to start the motion of any object. So here force will be applied more than this. To maintain the speed or motion, the force required is very less than the force required to bring the any object in the motion. I hope that you understood. So now the rest of the things of this chapter force we'll talk in the next session. So keep on revising, all of you, and practice and do the activities, all the activities of the chapters. Activities are also very important. With the help of activities, you will learn in a better manner. So all of you, bye, have a nice day.